the most important day. Wait, hang on. Fuck. The most important show of the day. Fuck, I fucked it up. Ryan, take it.
Well, that was rough. Jeremy usually just makes up a stupid cringe intro, and he couldn't even manage that this time. That's how well we prepare for Geeks and Gamers Daily on a Wednesday, and we are still basking in the glory of Hollywood meltdowns, including some that we missed. So that's the best part. We missed things that happened a week ago, and now we can go back and make fun of them now. How are you doing today, Jeremy?
I'm great. I'm following a lot of news right now in the political world and in the entertainment world. There's a lot going on, as there usually is, but it's the most important show of the day at this time on this channel with this crew talking about these topics. Would you agree with that, Ryan?
In all likelihood, yes, but it's not a guarantee. This show is so shitty that even with those caveats in place, might not be reality.
Might not be legitimate, but we'll see. But yeah, so we have some all new meltdowns to talk about, and I'm looking forward to. We had talked about Rachel Zegler like the day after. Remember that? And we had people were saying that there was a freak out going on, but me and you were just talking about this, how it kind of flew under the radar. And we're going to be talking about it now because she not a fan of Donald Trump, shockingly enough. Can you believe that?
I can't believe 23-year-old woke activist piece of shit Rachel Zegler, who has no real world experience in any way, shape, or form, feels so strongly about this election. I'm not surprised.
Not surprising at all. But yeah, there is a lot going on. I know that Trump and Biden are currently meeting right now. I think they're meeting, or at least they did. And that's going to be something I'll talk about on Cobra Cast a little bit later today, along with the meltdowns and the freakouts going on surrounding that in the political world. And it's all over the place. We're also going to talk about Disney Star Wars because Disney Star Wars sucks. Do you think we're going to get the new CEO for Disney in 2026? Think it's going to happen, or you think they're just floating bullshit again, Ryan?
Well, I think that, remember when Bob Iger initially signed up? Bob Iger's pretty fucking old, right? When he initially did it, I don't think he did it with the intent to stay 10 more years. So 2026 seems appropriate, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's when Kathleen Kennedy decides to go too. Because Kathleen Kennedy's going to leave whenever she's ready to leave, realistically, because she's fucking old too.
It would be interesting if they both were getting out of here in the next couple of years and then see what direction that takes Disney. But Disney needs a all new leadership structure, and they need a house cleaning, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think that the people that succeed him and her are going to be people that more so have their same kind of ideology. That's what I would think if I was to guess. But I guess time will tell. So we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Bob Iger, looking for a successor thing. One, we saw that with Bob Chapek, but ever since he came back, almost every, quarterly, whatever, they talk about that as a priority going forward, finding the successor for Bob Iger.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. Tobias for 10 says, I missed Tuesday night's main event. Did Jeremy play the trailer I sent the Forever Winter? I didn't, Tobias. I didn't even see you in there last night either. So got Red to play with me last night. Got slaughtered a couple of times. Lost some good gear, but had fun nonetheless. Hail Geeks and Gamers in the GCA. Hail to Tobias, who's really looking forward to FurryCon if it ever happens. Ryan seems to doubt it. I got to make more videos and promote this channel more. We'll get there.
Hopefully Tobias will have aged out of his weird his furry fetish in 10 years when we actually get 2,500 supporters on locals.
Jeremy is gay for 2 says, for the memes. Shadow Sand says, whoever runs the Geeks Gamers Clips channel is diabolical. Tuesday night's main event just ended, and I already had the savvy clip. And it already had the savvy clip. Well, there's
a savvy clap.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying. GJJ says, hail all. That would be 1-800-DANKY. He is a psychopath. That is, I think anybody knows that. He needs to animate that $500 Ripa clip. I don't know what he's waiting on. All right. What is he waiting on?
He's got to clip all the retarded shit we say on this channel.
Yeah, that's true. And all the retarded Cobra Cast stuff. He's doing a lot of retarded stuff these days. So, all right. So, Steven, is it DeLeon? Are we saying that properly? He got mad at you. He sent $2.
I don't care because I don't know how I'm supposed to say this. Steven DeLeon. Steven DeLeon. Seems like a dumb way to say it, but DeLeon.
No,
like
DeLeon.
Ponce, isn't like Ponce de Leon?
I say DeLeon.
That's with the accent on the O.
I say DeLeon.
I don't fucking care, Steven. Shout out West Texas. Steven D. Steven on the DL.
To be fair, we shouldn't care. He's a Notre Dame fan, right?
Yeah, he's a Notre Dame fan. He's a Buffalo Bills fan, and he always says shout out West Texas. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with him.
Hold on. Explain that, Steven.
That's what I say every time. He said
he's
like
sense.
Notre Dame rules, hashtag Bills Mafia, shout out West Texas. Ryan, you're gay. Jeremy, you're a fig. That's like almost every super chat he sends. But not this one. Good morning, figs. F Disney Star Wars, says Steven DeLeon. I don't know.
Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Tobias for 5. Sorry, Ryan. I've been a fur for the last 20 years. It's not going anywhere. And you can pick a less populated one late in winter. There's a lot to pick from. I'm sorry that you're lost to that world, that it's over for you.
You sounded so disgusted reading that. You sounded so disgusted.
Been a fur for 20 years. I don't know why, but his other like fur friend who's called Red, the name Red really drives me crazy. It's like so clearly it's like a dog name or something. Like, at least your name's Tobias, right? Red. Me and Red. Ugh.
I can feel your disgust.
I'm a judgmental person. Steve Fidge for 5. For me, watching Star Wars these days is like watching an old friend dying from cancer and not realizing it while smoking from the hole in their neck.
Jeez.
And they just like every once in a while they'll take a break and they'll just be like, "We just announced a new trilogy." That's basically what Disney Star Wars is now. Space Digger. Nothing is going to change. They're eyeing the EA CEO. That's the newest rumor and report that's out there.
Yeah, that is the newest one. So I go for it. That'll be good for us. Be good for us. They can have it.
Derek Anderson,
What's up,
DA for
what up,
20. Yo, Rach. We already did no peace. We're tired of wars, illegals, crime, and $6 eggs. That's why we voted for Trump. Hail to the 199. Shout out to the DA.
What's up, man? Doing great work over there on his channel.
Zen Zoltan for Argentinian 1,000. I don't know if this is real money or if it's fake Dan Vask money.
It's Dan Vask money.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, we still appreciate it, Zan Zoltan.
Yes.
I imagine you could buy a house in your country with this. It's only been a week, and we have more material from all the libs and lefties crying to fill an entire reel of 5 hours. Can you imagine how much material we're going to have for the next 4 years? I'm here for that. Hail the 199. Trump 2025 is almost here, baby.
Hail. It's like the iShow speed clip. I showed that last night on Main Event. Have you seen that one where he got $1 million donation?
No.
It's actually really good. It's really freaking good. Here, I just pulled it up right now. So this is what it's like when Dan Bass super chats you right here. Here we go.
Oh, yo, $1 million, bro. Dude, we got $1 million donut. Look. Oh my gosh.
That's
$1 million donut.
what?
$1 million.
What? Who is
$1 million, dog.
Who is Aqua?
$1 million.
Who is Aqua?
$1 million, bro.
Bro, who is Aqua?
$1.5 million. This is real. That's $1.5 million.
Oh, well, we just translated it. It's not $1 million.
That nigga said you some Indonesia, but
So $1 million, and that is $64.17.
Wait, really?
So that's not $1 million. Wow.
It's 600. Why would he lie?
That's when Dan Bass sends me a super chat right there.
Fucking
So
hate so many of these streamers.
Speed is fucking entertaining as shit. Fuck off. Speed is entertaining as hell.
I hate
that
so
dude
many
is
of these
funny
streamers.
as shit. That dude is funny as hell.
Yeah, so I just looked it up, and 1 Argentinian peso is 1,000th of a US dollar. So, appreciate it, Zanzoltan. Maximus BT for 199. Are you retarded? Thank you. Burb Shid for 2. Notre Dame Deli on.
Everything about like Stephen DeLeon's like opinions are bad though. If it starts with Notre Dame, you might as well just call BVS a masterpiece at this point in time. Like
Cider Hype for 2. Heads up. Had to hunt for G&G. You shadow ban? I don't think we're shadow banned.
Yeah, we put something in the title, and since then the channel's just been doomed. It's been over with. So
yeah. My channel was flying. Then I made 1 video, and now I can't get any views. YouTube, they flipped the switch on us. Savvy Clap for 2 for the memes. Thanks. Raiden Roach, morning, y'all, and chat. Grizzly Nightmare, hey, Jeremy, Yale or Crown Fork Truck?
Yale. Now there's now we're gonna get $1,000. Like, so remember when Zan Zoltan sent me the first $1,000 one? I thought it was like $150 or some shit. So
Salvador Caligares del Cari for 1,000 Argentinian pesos. No, a lot of money. We not a lot of money, probably. We Argentinians know, but MAGA for all. We're on the same side. Also taking care of illegal immigrants here. 1,000 Argentinian pesos can give you a lunch here.
Hey,
MAGA, we appreciate it.
MAGA red. Don't take as disrespect. We disrespect ourselves all day long. Okay, that's just what we do. So it's all good. But we appreciate you guys.
Super Mastermind, twice as much as Zan's chat. Thank you. Boba Fett for 2. Admiral Akbar's favorite music is trap. Thanks. B. Barrett for 2. Beardo isn't allowed to stand to pee until he fights Savvy in Pokemon. Thank you, B. Barrett. We got the live stream going over on Locals as well. So we appreciate you guys wherever you're watching, whether it's Rumble, whether it's Locals, whatever.
Yep.
You can see Ryan hating every second of that clip, and it wasn't the skin color. Good morning, Figs. No, it's just
Ryan hates everything.
Yeah, I fucking. Thunderstrike. Ryan is just mad to produce the opposite of Notre Dame and IU this season. Go Irish. Purdue's having a rough. My hatred for Notre Dame has nothing to do with how bad Purdue is right now. I fucking despise Notre Dame. And I grew up around a lot of Notre Dame fans because I lived 45 minutes from the Notre Dame campus. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, Notre Dame's just the most annoying college football franchise ever, or college football or university ever. Total fucking like the media overhyped them, overplayed them every year. They're always overrated, but most of our audience here doesn't give a shit. So
Matthew Hammond for 5. What's going on with the Disney Hall of Presidents at Magic Kingdom? Will there be 2 Trumps? Are they getting rid of it out of spite?
They're not getting rid of it.
There was a fake video
Yes.
that went viral about them getting rid of it.
Yes.
And it spread like wildfire. But no, they're not getting rid of it. They're not tearing it down.
Nope.
It came from like a parody TikTok account that people just posted over. So that's how these things happen. But speaking of parodies, Disney Star Wars. We've been talking about the news coming out of Lucasfilm for the past few days after this kind of shock announcement that while we still have like 10 random movies that may never get made from Disney Star Wars, we may as well announce another 3. Simon Kinberg, setting an agreement with Disney to write and produce a trilogy. Yet another Disney Star Wars trilogy gets announced, this time in partnership with Kathleen Kennedy. And over the past couple of days, there's been different reports out there about this or about that, who's going to be involved, what's going to happen. Well, Hollywood Reporter has this big piece out there, and it actually details a lot of some sources from close to Lucasfilm that talk about how chaotic it is and that no one has any idea what's going on at Lucasfilm. Star Wars movies race for Rey and the future of the franchise on the big screen. The scavenger turned Jedi played by Daisy Ridley in the last 3 episode movies is key to the space opera's next turn. If Rey is the key, you are already in a whole world of hurt.
Yep.
And as described by some people at Lucasfilm, they view Rey as their only bankable character that they have going forward. That's what this gets into here.
Bad situation to be in right there.
It really is. And some of this, right, is setting the stage, talking about Rise of Skywalker, how critical failure made $1 billion, but still, blah, 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 all this bullshit. But Rey, the scavenger turned Jedi played by Daisy Ridley in the last 3 episode movies, is key to the franchise's next turn. That potentially puts Kinberg's trilogy story development, as early in its conceptual stage as it may be, on a collision course with the Rey standalone movie that is actively in the works with director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. We know about the disastrous launch and announcement that entire thing was. Perhaps that's why Lucasfilm was receptive to Kinberg's multi-story pitch. Anything to move Rey forward, but it does engender rumors in the Star Wars underground of filmmakers jostling for characters. Ridley, for her part, and this is where I think I noticed the way she said this. I'm like, that seems very strange that she would put it this way. When Daisy Ridley was quoted as saying, I feel like the new one or new ones will be so interesting. That was before Stephen Knight left the project. So I think this was in the works for probably a couple weeks before this came out. While insiders dispute the notion that there's a battle for Rey, there definitely is internal deliberation within Lucasfilm as to what to do with the heir to Skywalker next. Quote, she is the most valuable cinematic asset, in some ways, maybe the only one Star Wars has right now.
Holy shit, man. What a bad situation to be in. That puts it into perspective right there as to how bad of the position Disney Star Wars is in right now. You came out, and if you remember, forget what your opinions of The Force Awakens are now. Like, before it came out, they were hyping up Captain Phasma. They were hyping up Rey. They were hyping up Poe and Finn and all this shit. Kylo Ren. Like, and they had legitimate hype even before the movie came out. There was interest in these characters. And the movie comes out, and there was still some interest for sure. But, like, look at where we are now. Captain Phasma was a complete and total, like, one of the most wasted things we've ever seen. Like, irrelevant as fuck. I don't know if their whole mindset was to make that the new Boba Fett and create mystery. I don't know if that was the case. I guess that's what they were trying to do.
No, like, there was no substance to Force Awakens at all in any way, shape, or form. None of these characters had any depth. It was built on a fucking house of cards. Captain Phasma was created because they were like, how cool would it be to have, look at how cool this armor looks. People would love to buy this.
And then let's put a woman in it. Let's put a woman in it. Let's get Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones. And there was a lot of like discussion around that, you know, like, oh, a Game of Thrones actress is in there. It's none of the, now moving forward to where we are, they're stuck with saying Rey is their most profitable, bankable character. Holy shit. What a horrible position to be in. Rey is not a profitable or bankable character. No one cares about Rey. Nobody.
But it's still like that can be true, and it also can be true that she might be the most bankable for them. Yeah, right. That's true. Of the list of people they have, because they've killed off everyone else, that it might be her. Legitimately, might be her, despite it not being a good news or a good thing for the franchise. Yeah, they talk about how everybody else has been killed off already. Star Wars movie development has been under scrutiny for several years, with Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy taking fire for not developing meaningful characters beyond those first created by Lucas. And then I skipped this part. According to sources, Rey is set to play a role in several movies that are being developed, although which ones remain unclear. Rey, created in the post-Lucas era, is arguably the only entity with currency on the big screen now. The closet is a little bare, says another source. While Kinberg hiring lays bare the development of movies in the company remains its own unique ecosystem in Hollywood. There are numerous Star Wars movies being developed that overlap characters or timelines. They are not related, but whatever one were to come out first could, in a domino effect, then impact the ones after it. Some Lucasfilm directors are aware of what others are doing, while others are not. For instance, Taika Waititi's working on a Star Wars movie. Sean Levy has a feature project. Donald Glover's Lando movie and a Rogue Squadron project is also still development as a feature. It's a different way of development, says another insider familiar with the company's way of working. There's so much parallel work going on.
Jesus.
No, it's almost like, 2014, you made this big announcement. We're fucking getting rid of the expanded universe. We have a story group that's going to oversee everything and make sure that everything stays in line. These people aren't talking to each other. This company is being run in an insane way. And no longer can anyone pretend like Dave Filoni, who is like executive, like, what is it? Like director of creative content or whatever at Lucasfilm. He oversees everything. Dave Filoni is involved with all these things, not just on the TV side, in the movies as well. This is all happening under Kathleen Kennedy's poor leadership. It is a nightmare.
Do you know who Dave Filoni reminds me of? Sean Hannity. Literally will do whatever the person that's in charge of the company or the party wants. He'll just say and do whatever. He has no, so when George was there, he was George's guy. Kathleen Kennedy, he'll do whatever Kathleen Kennedy wants. He'll do whatever the boss wants. He has no, opinion of his own, no belief of his own, no foundation of his own. He's a chameleon to whatever the person in charge of him wants.
No, I think Dave Filoni is doing what he wants. That's what I think.
Fuck that.
And
fuck
I think
that.
that's a weird thing to say.
He will 100% cut to whatever the person in charge wants.
I think that Dave Filoni is doing what he wants, just like what he did with Ahsoka, what he wanted to, not what George wanted her to. Not because Kathleen told him to do that. It's what he wanted to do. It's always what he wants to do.
That's not true. He didn't even create Ahsoka. George did.
Well, I'm telling you, yes, but George wanted her to die, right?
Right.
And Dave never wanted that to happen. Dave never ever wanted that to happen. And
I don't think that. I think that
Kathleen Kennedy came in and gave these orders to him to make her a big part of Rebels, whatever. No, that's Dave Filoni, bro.
But you're telling me if George Lucas really wanted her to die, then she wouldn't have died. Truly, you're telling me if he felt that strongly, he wouldn't have let Dave override him. We're talking about George Lucas here.
Yes, I'm not saying that Dave Filoni could have done it with George there, but I'm saying that's what he wanted to do. So the idea that all of Dave Filoni's decisions are just because Kathleen Kennedy wants some of these things, that is obfuscating all the blame from Dave Filoni that he fucking
I think you're giving him too much credit.
Every decision that Dave Filoni has made in Ahsoka and things like that, it's him, man. And if that's not crystal clear, then I don't know what to tell you. That's just another way of passing the buck and pretending like Dave Filoni has no ownership or responsibility in the current state of Star Wars.
I don't think he does. I think that he's just a cuck. I just think he'll do whatever he's told.
Okay, let's move on.
And I do dismiss the argument. I dismiss the argument. It's well known in the prequels that George Lucas, no one would tell George anything other than yes sir, no sir. George did whatever he wants. So the argument that Dave Filoni shouted down George Lucas over the Ahsoka thing is nonsense. Well, if George wanted something done, George would have done it.
I'm not saying that Dave Filoni changed something in what we saw to
but this, you have stood on this argument that George wanted Ahsoka dead. If George wanted her dead, she'd be dead. Bottom line.
They didn't get that far in the storytelling.
Nobody told George what to do. Nobody.
They didn't get that far in the storytelling before they sold to Disney. So
but the point being is
I don't know what you're talking about.
But the point being is if he wanted her dead, she'd be dead. That's the bottom line. If George Lucas wanted her dead, she would be dead.
They didn't get to this part of the story before this happened. I don't understand what that even means.
You talk about me switching blame from Filoni. You've switched blame by acting like George Lucas is not responsible for the Clone Wars because he is.
Oh, George Lucas is, and
then why do you shift it to Dave? Then why are you shifting it to Dave?
Ever made has been regarding the Clone Wars, whether that's the creation of Ahsoka in general, bringing Darth Maul back to life, and I've said that multiple times, even recently in a video talking about Star Wars.
So then why do you always say Dave Filoni is responsible for the Clone Wars and not George Lucas? Because it was George Lucas's vision. It was George Lucas in charge of all of that, not Dave fucking Filoni. It was George.
Dave Filoni was very impactful in what they did, especially in the later seasons of Clone Wars, as and not to say that George was absent. George was not absent. He was reviewing every fucking thing. They walk it by him and he'd say, hey, maybe change that, maybe that, change that, and go.
So then
Like,
why do you shift it to Dave, but you don't want to shift it to Kathleen?
You think I'm taking everything away from Kathleen Kennedy as if I think that Kathleen Kennedy's some great leader? It's just Dave Filoni. No, the idea that people keep coming back to this shit that, oh, Dave Filoni doesn't want to force this shit in there. Dave Filoni's not trying to do this.
I said he's a cuck and he'll do whatever.
He's not a woke piece of shit. It's just because he wants to please Kathleen Kennedy is bullshit. It's letting Dave Filoni off the hook. It's letting this smug piece of garbage who stood up there at that feminist fucking conference and shit all over Star Wars fans, shit all over people like you, people like me, people in this chat. You think that that's just because of Kathleen Kennedy made him say that, and that is letting him off the hook.
So he gets all the blame for the Clone Wars, and George doesn't. But he also gets all the credit for Disney Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy.
History. So stop trying to revert
it
back
fits your
to
narrative.
That
It
black
fits
and white
your
argument.
narrative.
We're not
It fits
having a
your
black
narrative.
and white argument.
If it's your narrative, you keep saying that Dave Filoni's Clone Wars. You never say George Lucas's Clone Wars. You say Dave Filoni's Clone Wars. Because it's a narrative you're building.
Clone Wars when I'm talking about Dave Filoni.
Right, but it's never George Lucas's Clone Wars. He had nothing to do with it, apparently, when it's the time to shit on it.
A ton of blame and criticism on George Lucas for his decision.
If you know anything about George Lucas, he had ultimate control of everything that happened at Star Wars.
Do I have to say this before you fucking realize it?
I think that you have a very skewed vision of Dave, and when it fits your narrative, you blame him, and when it doesn't, you blame someone else. That's it.
I think that my vision of Dave Filoni has proved to be prophesized, right? Because my vision of Dave Filoni, which I maintain, even when it's extremely unpopular, like it was maybe when I started my channel and started talking about these things, I feel like that is the correct vision of what I feel like Dave Filoni is and always has been. When I've been looking at the storytelling, when I've been looking at his
then why didn't George just hand him? Then why didn't George just hand him Lucasfilm? Why didn't George just hand Lucasfilm to Dave? If he was so integral in George's mind and changed his opinions and had all this creative input in these projects, why didn't George just hand Dave fucking creative control then? Why didn't he turn it over to him instead of Kathleen Kennedy?
I don't think that the idea that people have of Dave as George's Padawan or that he viewed him as his right-hand man, I don't think that's reality. You know, I think they were friends, and I think, of course, they developed a good relationship, but I don't think that anything like that was ever the case.
So then who is the most responsible for Clone Wars, George Lucas or Dave Filoni?
I think in terms of the creation of
the answer,
series,
you just don't want to say
Lucas. I'm telling you. I'm talking about in terms of the creation of the series, George Lucas. Now, when you're talking about every single little bit, every single line of dialogue, all of these things that are happening, right?
Who signed off on all of it?
Not the overarching, like,
who signed off on all of it?
A lot of Clone Wars, but I'm talking about all of the intricate little details along the way. I think you're looking at a lot of the people that wrote it. Dave Filoni supervising a lot of those people that wrote it, including himself at times. But like, there's no doubt that in my mind, George Lucas is much to blame for the decisions in Clone Wars. This is pre-Disney. Bringing Darth Maul back, I think, is one of the biggest mistakes in the history of Star Wars.
So you think it's feminist garbage, Clone Wars? So you think George Lucas pushed feminist garbage within Star Wars?
I think that there are some feminist elements of Clone Wars that I think were kind of warning signs of what could happen moving forward. And I think Rebels fleshes that out a little bit more. And now you see the state of all of these different characters that, you know, Dave Filoni either had a part in creating or he himself created and continued their stories and things like Rebels. And now you see how they're being utilized in all these live action series.
I think Rebels,
you look back and you can see those warning signs.
I think Rebels is a classic Dave Filoni project without George Lucas and without Kathleen Kennedy, and it's very lifeless and boring with a ton of filler. I think that Clone Wars is George Lucas with Dave Filoni being involved. And I think now you're seeing Dave Filoni involved with Kathleen Kennedy's version of Star Wars and its feminist propaganda. I think the Clone War or Rebels is a perfect view of what Dave Filoni Star Wars is without any oversight, and it's boring.
I think
what
that
it is.
I think that Ahsoka is the perfect representation of what Dave
Well,
Filoni
he had
wants to do in
Favreau.
live
He had
action.
Favreau involved in that, didn't he?
I think Favreau would probably produce, but that was a Dave Filoni fucking thing.
Favreau and Filoni are pretty tight. They're
They
pretty
are,
tight, and
but that is-
they work hand in hand, and I think that's been proven.
100%.
Yeah,
But like,
So-
you can't tell me based on the things we've seen in something like Rebels that that Ahsoka isn't basically Dave Filoni's wet dream of everything he's wanted to do. And I don't think you've even watched Ahsoka, have you?
no,
Okay, so that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So how are you putting this out there? That's your fucking opinion
Because
about this thing.
w-
You haven't even watched it.
because
bro.
I don't think it's worth watching. I have no interest in watching what they're doing because I hate what they're doing.
Okay, all right.
I
There we
hate
go.
I hate the vision of what they're doing.
An
But
informed
I still
opinion on
think it's
Ahsoka.
but I still think that it's Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars, not Dave Filoni's Star Wars.
Got it. Let's move on. And nothing has been codified or made more canonical in modern times than those three movies. To filmmakers and executives, the first trilogy is the Old Testament. The prequel should be in there too, you cocksucking fucks. You're being asked to create the New Testament as one source who's worked on previous movies, and no one can agree on anything. And there's a lot of second guessing about meanings. Again, no one is guiding things, right? The story group is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. There is no leadership. Weird. There's no leadership at Lucasfilm with Kathleen Kennedy. Another source familiar with the process is more business-minded, noting Star Wars is a nostalgia-based enterprise, and they are running out of ways to create nostalgia. The fact that it's viewed that way is crazy.
But that's the truth, and that's all they view it as. I remember listening to all of these Disney podcasts back in the day before Disney purchased Lucasfilm. And they would sit there and talk about how when the purchase from Lucasfilm happened, specifically, this is from Bob Iger and the leadership at Disney. And they said, Disney realizes that they have a girls company, a girls brand. Now they need to purchase what would be deemed as a boys brand so that they can have open up demographics for the company. What did they do? They turned it into a girls brand. They don't even know what they have with Star Wars. So the leadership involved said that we need something that appeals to younger boys because we generally have a lot of IPs that appeal to younger girls. They buy it and they turn it into something that is supposed to appeal to young girls. They have no idea what they have. They can't create anything new. And all of the things, like go into Walmart right now, go into Target. What do you see on the shelves? You see classic Star Wars characters.
Yeah, it's there's nothing, at least nothing that we can tell, nothing of note. There's no Mays or Oshas or Acolyte characters or Disney trilogy characters. It's the only things people are buying are just maybe a random lightsaber or whatever, but it's all focused on Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, shit like that.
And that's a big, as someone that like went to the like Force Friday before The Force Awakens came out when they dropped all those fucking toys. That is a far cry from where they were because they were creating all these toys with all these new characters. And now you go in the stores now and there's no Rey, there's no Finn, there's no Poe, there's no Rose Tico, there's no Captain Phasma. You occasionally do see like an Ahsoka character. You see like something like Obi-Wan from the Clone Wars or some bullshit. But the majority of stuff is original trilogy. And I don't even think I've seen prequel trilogy toys though, shockingly enough. I don't really, maybe an Anakin here or there you'd see.
Not much. Yeah, you're right.
But it's really original trilogy is all that they are selling. And this just shows you how they don't even realize that the prequel era, if they would come out with prequel toys, people would buy prequels. But that's all they have. They're fucked. It's over for them. This Rey movie, I'm not willing to say it's going to be Captain Marvel level, but this Rey movie is not going to hit $1 billion. And I don't think it's going to hit $500 million just off the top.
I think that I'm really interested to see what Mandalorian Grogu does because I have no real clue as to what to expect from the box office for that. a property that obviously they were happy to launch Disney Plus with, and there was some energy and excitement around Baby Yoda, and then you had the pop at the end of season 2 with the bullshit Deadeye's Luke Skywalker return, stuff like this. But season 3 doesn't seem to be a whole lot of interest moving forward in it. What is that going to do at the box office? I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Mandalorian Grogu that's the true test of everything they have, because if they would have come out, we've talked about this many times, if they would have come out with the movie after season 2, I think that you're looking at a legitimate hit. But season 3, after Book of Boba Fett and season 3, they have pissed away all of the goodwill from the Star Wars fan base.
And the other question is, if you can make a Mandalorian and Grogu movie like you make the TV show, right? If you're doing it the same way, whatever, and you spend $90-100 million, because that's about what those seasons cost, maybe that can be something that works, right? Maybe you only get $400 million, $450 million at the box office, but if you made it for $100 million, you know, at least you're putting out something that makes money.
But you already know that's not going to happen. It's going to have a
stupid
$250 million budget. Why? I don't know. I can't figure out why these movies have these types of budgets.
The only reason I say something like that is because that's basically what they did. They took Mando season 4 and what they were planning, and they repackaged it into a movie, right? So if they filmed it kind of the same way they had planned on, I don't know. I have no idea what the budget is. We've had no reports of the budget for Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm just speculating. If you can do something like that with the technology you have, instead of spending ridiculous amounts of money like you did on something like Acolyte, maybe they look at that and say, fuck, maybe $500 million is a huge success on a $100 million budget.
Yep. It will be fun to see, but at the end of the day, they're fucked. That's the bottom line.
They are
I got
a lot of gifted memberships.
Yeah, we did during our big fight. If that's what it takes to get gifted memberships, I'm sure Ryan won't mind if we fight more. So,
Zan Zoltan with 50 Geeks and Gamers memberships. That's a lot of Argentinian pesos. Kevin,
that's a lot.
With 50 Geeks and Gamers
what
memberships.
The hell?
Thank you, Kevin. And then Kevin drops another 50 gifted memberships.
Let's go.
Thank you very much. Ratchild UK, does Ryan know that Maul was brought back in an Obi-Wan novel long before TCW?
Ryan knows everything about Star Wars.
I know more about Star Wars than you will ever know in your life, Ratchild UK. Maul was not brought back in an Obi-Wan novel. Maul, there was a Star Wars Infinities comic, an Infinities Tale, which was basically Star Wars version of Marvel What If, where they were like, what if this retarded thing happened? What if this retarded thing happened? And there was a what if story where Darth Maul survived. That's what you're talking about. He was not canonically brought back, just so you know. But I'm more than willing to educate you on Star Wars whenever I have the opportunity. Derek PG Beller for 5. Skillet just released a new album. Lead singer is super based and looks like a better looking beardo. He unapologetically voted for Trump.
Hell yeah.
I haven't heard Skillet in a long time. Unknown member for 17 months. Thank you. Is that me? That is me.
Yes.
Freedom. Bethany for 10 Canadian dollars. Good afternoon, Jeremy and Ryan. Thank you, Bethany. De Leon. Okay. I feel like I've said that a couple times. I'm 44. Every Saturday was Notre Dame. Sunday was Bills. From Arizona, living in Texas past 13 years, working in an Odessa oil field.
Respect.
There you have it. Thank you, Stephen De Leon. I think I'll get it right from now on. Shadow saying for 5. What will Danky animate first? Ripa $500 or Savvy Feet? Run the
We
poll.
need Ripa 500. We need that one, Danky. I know you're in the chat. Nobody wants Savvy's feet, to be fair, except for Dan.
Yeah, it's a weird obsession. Maybe Dan is like, because he lives in such a shithole country, the idea of someone with clean feet just in general is like attractive to him. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know if they have like floors there. They're just all walking around on dirt. Unknown for $1.99. Shit Clown Wars. Thank you, Unknown. Tobias Nexus for 5, stuck doing the front desk for now, so my best entertainment is messing with Ryan. It helps deal with my own depression of dealing with customers. That's rough, Tobias, but you've been through worse. You're a furry. Maddening for $2, Stephen DeLeon. Thank you. Just got back to Cincinnati from Orlando, says Jocelyn. Had a great time. I visited iDrive, but I was still able to tune in and see the meltdowns to the Trump victory.
Hell yeah.
Good time in Orlando, Jocelyn.
And look at this really quickly. Ryan, I haven't even heard this yet. So here we go.
Happy Biden look.
Biden looks so happy. All right, here we go. This is as loud as it'll go. It's chaos. This is chaos.
Just asking like a million questions, no one's answering. They're just taking pictures.
And Biden just sitting there smiling as big as he can.
Biden's just like, I just pooped my pants.
He's like, I voted for this guy. And now he's here at my house.
Look at that roaring fire.
Absolute chaos. So I'll be covering all this tonight on Cobra Cast. He looks so happy. Biden's so happy.
XR Coon for 5. Jeremy, if these Ray movies happen, we need an unfiltered, unhinged review from Ryan and Gundam.
Oh, you'll get one, especially from Ryan.
Maybe.
Ryan's biggest problem is he knows too much about Star Wars. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
He knows way too much.
Yeah. For reference, those Infinity Tales I was talking about, like I said, they were called like essentially Star Wars Infinities, and they were meant to be non-canonical, not an actual story. Hey, what if this crazy thing happened? Like the Marvel What If universe, not an actual story that happened. For anyone that's confused, some of them are like interesting, but Jackson loves Nintendo. We're going to power through a lot of these argument chats. Jackson loves Nintendo. Jeremy is wrong and gay. Ryan is right and handsome. Sounds like you might be gay too.
Jackson, Ryan hates Nintendo more than you love it.
Breezy's Comics and Collectibles. Ryan dub on Star Wars argument. D-Day gay Cobra L. Maddening. Nobody puts George Lucas in a corner. Except Disney, I guess. Ryan Bannon, LMFAO. Ryan is grumpy and it's awesome. Even Beardo for 2 gets shit on. Even Beardo gets shit on. Hostile Bogey Inbound. I am so hard right now. CJR for £5. For everyone who thinks Ryan leaves all his disgust and hate for minorities and women, have never heard him talk about Filoni. To be fair, categorizing Dave Filoni, you could say he's a woman. You could say he's a protected class, gay, anything like that. So probably still qualifies. Ryan Bannon for Canadian $2. Ryan is arguing like an uber leftist right now.
Don't worry. The ones about Jeremy arguing like an uber leftist are coming. Don't worry.
Stephen McBride for 2. Ryan, how dare you yell at my favorite fuck buddy? Rio for $1.09 says cat fight. Ronan the Crusader chat. Mom and dad are fighting again. Boba Fett, 199. Steel cage. Cactus for 2. Jeremy, did you get a lobotomy recently? Dr. Daisuke, please don't argue, dads. It's scary. Maximus BT, shout out to Steph. In the middle of this argument, yeah. Travis Schiffler.
There we go.
Jeremy sounds like a Democrat talking about Star Wars. Maximus BT, Ryan had the intensity of a WWE interview. Let me tell you something, brother. Dave Filoni's a fuck. Gumby over. Pack it up, G&G. It's over. They hate each other.
It's
now.
over. Yep. We've never had an argument.
Hostile Bogey Inbound. It doesn't matter if mommy is right or daddy is right. Star Wars is done. Cola Hauser. Hey, Ryan and Jeremy, if Favreau and Filoni are that close, I feel really sorry for Dave Filoni's dog. Oh, well, sucks to be him. 199 Yojo praise Ara.
They certainly are.
Ryan's crusty fursuit with a salty twist for Australian $7.99. Wow, Ryan, why is the AIDS clinic streamer on today? Space Digger for 2. Prequel toys are mostly clone troopers. Beastie Man, member for 24 months, 2 years. Liberal celeb tiers are always the best. Hail President Trump for the win. We got some more celebrity tiers to get through.
That's right.
So we are going to get to those. Maximum BT, show Savitz. Freedom Corpse, I heard Beardo's still looking for some action figures to suck. Don't make it weird, Jeremy. Matthew Maxwell. Hi, guys. This just in from Trump. Tucker Carlson to be new press secretary. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think Tucker wants that job.
I don't think, like, everybody's throwing
There's far more important things for Tucker Carlson to do in life than that.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like, everybody's out wants, like, oh, Alex Jones for press secretary. Tucker Carlson. Like, these guys are, like, no disrespect to the press secretary. Like, those are,
No, not at all. Yeah.
those positions are beneath guys like them. Tucker fucking Carlson ain't gonna sit there and just take questions from the media.
Yeah, like there's super important questions, obviously, but
yes,
with the time requirement for something like that, I think Tucker Carlson can have a much bigger impact overall if he continues to do what he's doing.
Alina Habba for press secretary. We get to look at her and watch her rip the media apart. That's my pick.
Sir Paladin Thundercake for 2. White dudes for Filoni. Jeremy Prime. The Singing Tigs. It's always funny. When Jeremy thinks he's smart. Hail, says Singing Tigs.
Got $2 out of you.
Let's go over to Rumble. All right. Ball 95 Survivor. Ryan is almost as angry as Beardo reading super chats. Nader's Bricks for 2. Ryan, calm down. You'll get your fur ruffled before the con starts. I know. Over on locals. Looks like we're good.
What?
Somebody posted this. God, this is from a long fucking time ago.
Oh, let me pull up locals.
Here, over in the locals chat.
Holy shit.
This is when I was driving across the country and I stopped in Jeremy's house to meet him and went back to the pool house and did a surprise stream. And then Jeremy's like, oh, by the way, I happen to have all the same things I'm wearing right here, too. Pull an extra shirt out, an extra hat. This stream is so fucking gay.
It's super gay.
It's not nearly as gay as We Are Geek or anything that Ben has ever done in his entire life. But it's pretty rough.
Oh, shit. That's funny.
All right. Let's get to the Rachel Zegler stuff. All right. Where the fuck did I go? I lost.
You pull that up. I'm going to show one other thing really quick.
Okay.
This is one of the greatest replies I've ever seen. Okay. So right here, Mark Cuban. Did you see that tweet? How to drive X users crazy, turn off replies. X responds because they're the only ones.
Oh, fuck.
They responded with this and they just said hi. Holy shit, dude. This is amazing.
I wonder if it was Elon.
It probably was Elon. Holy shit. That has got to be like the greatest response of all time. Mark Cuban is such a clown, dude. Holy crap.
That's crazy. That's fan-fucking-tastic, to be honest with you.
That's got to be one of the best.
He deleted all of his Kamala shit, right?
He did, yes. He deleted all of his Kamala stuff.
Truly believed in the cause. When's Mark Hamill's bitch ass going to change his Kamala Harris, Tim Walz banner?
Let me see. Have you checked it lately?
I checked it last night.
Okay. I'll check it now. Let's see. And no, he changed it. He changed it.
Did he really? Let's pull it up.
Right there. He changed it.
Oh, the stars. Mark Hamill. Star Wars. Looking up at the stars. Taking a break from the reality. His reality that just got crushed by Donald Trump winning once again. Mark Hamill, who maybe he feels bad because he wasn't paid like all these other celebrities because Mark Hamill's so fucking irrelevant, that he was just desperate to go to the DNC, that he was desperate to campaign for Kamala, that he did all this stuff of his own like volition instead of getting paid for it like some of these other celebrities.
Yep.
Maybe that's why he's upset. Maybe that's why he's so hurt by this entire thing.
Mark Hamill is pathetic, and it sucks so much that he's that pathetic, but here we are. And yeah, so he has finally changed his background from the Kamala Harris Walls background. And so here we are. The cope is real. Poor guy. Poor guy.
Poor Mark Hamill.
I almost feel bad for him.
Yeah, fuck him. But we got to talk about another Hollywood celebrity who had a little bit of a meltdown after the election. For the past week, we've been laughing, and it's been fun because we've witnessed all of these Hollywood elite meltdowns over the 2024 presidential election. So many of these people who decided that, you know, us in our Hollywood bubble, having no idea what the real world is like, we should tell all these everyday Americans how to vote. And if you don't vote with us, you're a bigot. You're a horrible person. You're one of the worst people in the world. How dare you? The reality has come crashing down around them. And Rachel Zegler somehow, some way went a little bit under the radar when we've been laughing at these people. Rachel Zegler, certainly no stranger to controversy. She single-handedly made sure that the Snow White live-action bastardization from Disney is going to be a complete and total nightmare for them. But she had something to say about the election, too. Disney's Snow White actress Rachel Zegler causes controversy with unhinged social media election tantrum, hopes Trump supporters never know peace. Now, I saw this yesterday, and I was a little confused because I thought, you know, I saw Steph tweet this out, and I was like, is this real? Like, where does, because these are Instagram stories that clearly were from right after the election. I'm like, how did we not talk about this for a whole week? But sure as shit, Rachel Zegler fan pages had posted them on November 6th on Instagram 6 days ago. You can see people thanking her for speaking up in her stories and stuff like that. This is real. This is legit from Rachel Zegler.
The fact that she says that she hopes that Trump supporters never know peace, considering we're about to get, you know, more world peace, more mean tweets and more world peace. Just a typical leftist lunatic right here. But I have not read this. I heard about it, but I have not read the details of it.
I find myself speechless in the midst of this. That's your first fucking lie, you retard. You wrote I say I'm speechless, yet you have 3 paragraphs and then several more stories. Clearly, you have plenty of speech available. Another 4 years of hatred. Rachel Zegler was, what, like 13 years old the first time Trump was elected? What the fuck are you talking about? Leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in. Leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. You don't have any kids. You're manifesting a pregnancy for yourself that you probably will just end. Leaning us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want. Leaning us towards a world that is fearful. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I'm heartbroken for my friends who awoke this morning, and I am here with you to cry, to yell, to hug. Mark Ruffalo's got company. To wax poetic on how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. This loss should not have been. And it certainly should not have been by so many votes. I echo Ethel Kane's statements more than anything. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. And to me, that's where it goes, where you're an actor, you're working for these companies, stuff like that. Okay, you're going to have their opinions. They're going to put dumb shit out there. They're going to have a meltdown over their candidate, whatever. When you start going after half of your audience is when business-wise, it becomes a massive, massive problem. And that's what she just did.
And that is why people are so tired of Hollywood celebrities, because not only do they have to push their opinions out there, it's that they have to try to force their opinions onto everyone else. You have to agree with them or you are the devil. You are hard. Now, the fact that you're sitting here, you're actively wanting the United States of America to fail because the guy that you don't like got voted in. The mature thing, the rational thing would be like, I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that Donald Trump is able to accomplish great things for America, but I'm very unhappy right now, yada, yada, yada. Instead, you're like, I just hope that Trump himself never finds peace. It's like, the fuck's wrong with you, man? These people are demented. lunatics. And this chick right here specifically, she has earned all of the hatred and then some. She has taken the Brie Larson stuff and she has taken it to a whole different level. Like, she makes Brie Larson seem likable. Yes, Ryan, I know. I know.
I made her seem likable, just for the record.
But yeah, I mean, she is Rachel Zegler. Are we prepared to say she might be the single most unlikable person in Hollywood? Like, she's right there. Who's worse than this chick?
Yeah, like I said, like the Brie Larson stuff stems from a really dumb thing she said about white guys reviewing movies 8 years ago or whatever that was. And from people not liking her character. This is like a completely different level.
Yes.
Like with all the different statements we've had from her and specifically going after like the audience and targeting the audience in this way. And if Rachel Zegler had just had this meltdown and talked about how much she hates Trump and stuff, I would be making fun of her about a meltdown over the election, blah, blah, blah. But when you start saying and lumping in the supporters and Trump voters, so not, 75 million people in this country who some of them might have wanted to go see Snow White. Some of them might want to go see your movies in the future. You just told them to fuck off, to go fuck themselves. That is the biggest problem in this entire thing. And she ain't done. There's also a deep, deep sickness in this country that is shown in the sheer amount of people who showed up for this man who threatens our democracy. It is terrifying, the number of people who stand behind what this man preaches. It's a foolish subscription to a false sense of security, of masculinity, of intelligence, of patriotism, and of humanity. There is no help, no console in any of them. I could go on. I won't. I feel sad. You probably do too. Fuck this. And she keeps going on. Get off Elon's app, by the way. The fuck are you doing? They're eating you up on Twitter. I don't use that app for a reason. He helped get that man elected, and you're giving him business. I was talking about finding catharsis in art. I don't care if you're going to pick a fight with me. It's been done before. Find something real to be mad about today. There's plenty to go around. And yet the last time she used Twitter was to say Free Palestine while promoting her movie for Disney, while her Israeli co-star is getting relentlessly attacked by her sycophantic supporters.
Yep. That's right.
And regardless of what you think about that, the idea of attaching that to the promotion of your movie, that's a problem with your business.
Yes.
Okay, that's all. Going on stage for Act 2 now. Need to get off my soapbox before I get too heated. Sending love to everyone who needs it today, except Trump supporters. May we all carry each other through the worst and hold these politicians accountable. Your Dem govs just got very important. They already were, but hey, follow your governors. Hold them accountable. Local governments where we make real change. This is not the end, ever. I will love through these 4 years as best I can. Fuck Donald Trump. It's like...
Oh my God, it's glorious. And
she's a child. Like she's like not literally, but she's like 23 years old and thinks she knows everything about everything. Yeah. She's delusional.
Yeah, this is her, people like her and people like Hollywood people. They're one of the reasons I lean so much into the Trump support. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a fan of Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump. I voted for him in 2016, 2020, 2024. I'll vote for him in 2028, because that's going to trigger libs just to hear that. He's already made a comment today about potentially staying in office. This got him fucking melting down right now. He's already done it. And so the reason that I lean so much into it is because it triggers these people, and their whole mindset is to try and make people not want to support Trump. So I do the exact opposite. It's like, oh, you're trying to make people not want to support Trump. I'm going to lean into it even twice as much just to piss you off at this point. Because if you claim that I can't be a Trump supporter, that's, one thing. But if you claim that Trump supporters have to shut up and they have to silence themselves, well, then I'm just going to take it to a whole different level. So that's why I personally am the way I am about it. The reality is their world has crumbled right in front of them because everything they have worked for the past 4 years, or I guess 8 or 9 years, blew up in their faces last Tuesday. and they realize that they don't matter, and they are in the coping phase now, and they're trying to understand, how did we get to this place? How do so many people love this man? How is he winning in a landslide when we celebrities have stood against this and shown the world of how horrible he is, and we told our fans how terrible he is? They are currently reeling right now, and it's going to be a glorious 4 years, because they're going to continue to do this and alienate more and more people, and they're only going to make Donald Trump and the MAGA movement more and more popular and relevant. So I'm looking forward to the next 4 years.
Yeah, and this is the Disney double standard, right? Gina Carano says nothing wrong, does nothing wrong, gets fired. Rachel Zegler, Pedro Pascal, that Lucasfilm guy, it doesn't matter. They go out and they attack half the country, half their potential audience. Nothing will happen to them. Because this is how Hollywood works.
Yep, that's it. And that's the biggest issue with Hollywood, is that hypocrisy. Because ultimately, if we lived if everything was, equal and fair in terms of like people being able to share their opinions, then hey, let Rachel Zegler run her mouth. But the fact is Gina did nothing wrong other than have a perception from a standpoint that she doesn't line up with the narrative. So they fire her. Not only they fire her and they shame her. And Rachel Zegler, they're going to sit here and just celebrate her. That's identity politics right there in a nutshell. So,
yep. All right. Let's get back to it. Barbecue Pits for 5. I can't tell who won that argument, so I'm just going to agree with my N-word Ryan because he's black. Thank you, Barbecue Pits. Booming Bob, Ryan, be nice to Jeremy. He just watched Snake Eyes to help cope with the lack of Titanfall.
I need Titanfall 3.
You can play Titanfall 2.
I know, I played it. I played it the other night.
Yeah, so why do you need
But it's fucking broken.
Pre-Dawn Corpse, Gays and Gamers. Cladex, Hulk Hogan is press secretary. The singing takes for 2. Anything to help the tarded. Got a grift to survive. Delta Entertainment, Linko Kenobi. Did you check out that Park Place article, We Are the Media? It's my favorite article. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll be uploading 10 videos today.
10 videos. Let's go.
See you on CobraCast, Jeremy. Held the 199.
Let's go. Hail Linko.
Taker. I had this class once, and this girl gave a presentation, called it the Notre Dame Cathedral on her slides. I took French in high school, shaking my head. Tobias Nexus for 5. You want true insanity? Women are actively filming themselves on TikTok, poisoning drinks with aqua tofana. They call themselves Matka or 7B. Be aware.
Jesus.
I'm not feeling so hot today. Maybe I got poisoned by one of them. Space Digger for 2 threatens democracy. Democracy voted him in.
That's right.
Christian Rocker finished The Penguin last night, and it was fantastic. Weird that IGN had one person review the series, but someone else review each individual episode. Yeah, that's how they do things. Even I was going to talk about it today before the Rachel Zegler news popped off, but the Dragon Age, the Veilguard, IGN kind of called out their own review, which is kind of funny. But
that is pretty
maybe
funny.
We'll get to that another day. I think, unless I'm missing something. Where'd my locals go? My locals chat went.
Well,
have anything in locals, Jeremy?
Let me see. I had it pulled up. No, we have nothing on locals. I want to show this real quick because I like how I think Steph is the person that did this. But right here, so putting the Criticlist score right there, the Penguin season 1 and 91% on Criticlist. And I looked to see, and it's actually up to a 92% now with 62 votes. So if you guys have not, go over to Criticlist and get signed up. It's for free, and it's a Rotten Tomatoes alternative. And they're good people over there. So you'll see a lot of the G&G 199 community over there. And we'll see. I can't wait. I want to finish the Penguin. I'll probably by this weekend, I'll be able to get through it this weekend. And looking forward to it. So, Ryan, what do you got going on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Making videos. Actually, I might do a live stream later tonight. When's CobraCast? 9? Is that when you do it?
No, I'm actually going to go live earlier because of all the stuff going on right now. So I'm probably going to go eat, and then I'm going to go live probably around 2 or 3 my time. So
I'll
you can
probably
do
be
it
live
later.
around 8 p.m., 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern, my time. So on my channel. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. We'll figure it out, though.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Make sure you check us out over on Locals. Go follow us over there if you're interested. I'll do Cobra Cast here in a few hours to talk about all the craziness going on in the world of politics. Other than that, you guys have a great day. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.